Hi, welcome back to Once Upon a Game. I'm Kevin Kitchens, and in this episode I'm doing an unboxing of Mark Herman's Washington's War, the American Revolution card-driven game. This is the most recent third printing from 2024. It's by GMT Games, of course, and, as mentioned, designed by Mark Herman. This is a two-player card-driven game. However, if you have the CDG Solo system, the first volume of that, which you can buy, or you can download a print and play version and mock up a six-sided die yourself, you can play this using that system designed by Stuka Joe to play Washington's War. It comes with all the information and reference card you need to play this. You're not playing solo per se. You're still true soloing it against yourself, but the CDG Solo system kind of gives you some mitigation of, you can't just take every action. I mean, you're basically limiting the actions for both sides, so makes it a little more fun to play, easier to do your best. So I have never actually played this game, so I was excited when I heard they were doing a new printing, and I'm going to show you what comes in the box. All right, so this is still a kind of a narrow, 2-inch box. It's not enough content to warrant a 3-inch box, I believe. It's pretty full, so if you get you put a GMT tray in here, you're probably going to raise the lid just a little bit, but it's not that big a deal. So we start off with a playbook on top, and with this GMT game, and actually George Washington there is doing face recognition on the camera, so it's tracking him. Hey George, how's it going? This playbook, GMT always assigns the name playbook to several different types. This one is an example of play, player's notes, and design notes. It is a 16-page rule book. It has the 16-page book, playbook. It has the map set up on the back for ready reference, and then most of it is an example of play, starting from the beginning, telling you which card was played and what action was taken to teach you the game. You can follow that along. Full color, very nice. Matte finish paper, which is always nice. GMT's good quality stuff. And then, actually, player's notes are by Joel Toppin of Navajo Wars Comancheria fame. So he wrote those, and he's probably the developer of the game as well. And Mark Herman wrote the designer's notes. So it's a 15-year CDG journey. Very cool. And he wrote that in 2009. So, all right. So then we've got the rule book. The rule book comes in at a whopping massive tome of 24 pages, and has an index on page 24. So there's also, there's George looking at you. And this is also on the nice matte finish. Starts off probably introducing the game components, as it usually does. And then the pieces. It is full color as usual, but obviously a lot of black and white illustrations, but game examples are in full color. But it is pretty text heavy here, it looks like. But I don't think this is a very difficult game to play. And full color examples where you need it. And so the rules actually go through, let's see, game components, terminology, setting up the game sequence of play, strategy cards, and then you start talking about movement, reinforcements, battles, political control, attrition. So it's pretty much the whole book is the rules. There's no optional rules, advanced rules, things like that you can filter out. So that's what you got there. And then we've got, these are from C3I originally, and they're not included in the game. These are obviously a British player aid and an American player aid, front and back. GMT's coded card stock, telling you different actions you can take, as well as combat modifiers, etc. So one for each player. And then we have punch boards, and we have 2 punch boards. So not a very counter-dense game, it looks like. So this is the British, obviously, and we have strength markers. They're rounded, so they're pre-rounded, and then we've got some, it look like control markers maybe, or operations Q. These hexes are really cool. And then we got some leaders, and then some leader standees, as well as the French Navy. And then we've got American strength points. And then again, some more leaders and control markers. Well, these look like, yeah, these are control markers here. I'm not sure what these hexes are. I'm sure we will find out when we read the rules and learn the game. And then we've got a big, beautiful, always appreciated mounted map board. We'll take a look at that in full in detail. GMT's famous patented bag o' bags. Got that for helping you to organize. You do have a kind of a raised insert here, so you can actually remove that. Put a GMT tray for sorting these counters if you wanted to. So being a card-driven game, we have 2 decks of cards. We'll look at those in a second. We'll get bored in a second. 2 dice. We've got a blue, we've got a red. We're going to assume the blue is America, and the red is the hated redcoats. Pretty nice. They're kind of light. I mean, they're a decent size, but they're very light. They don't have quite the heft that GMT dice usually have. But let's see what happens here. And the British win 4-1 in the first game of the series. All right, and then we've got some black plastic holders for the leader standees that we saw on the boards. So you'll be able to move those around the board standing up. And then we've got our strategy decks. There's two packages of cards. So there's 2 decks. I mean, there's 1 deck of cards. There's 110 total cards in the game. And if you've played any kind of card-driven game before like this, Mark Herman design especially, you know the card can be used for its ops points, or it can be used for the event that's taking place. One thing I'm noticing about this particular game is it seems like the cards are just pretty much ops and a command. They don't really have not events, but yeah, I guess it's not technically events. Where a card can be for one faction or the other, or neutral, like let's say for the people. So most of the card-driven games have that, where the cards, you know, are usable by one side or the other, primarily, and then can be used. So this seems like it's more like, you know, I've got a hand of cards, I'm taking these actions. So I can activate a general with strategy rating of 1 or 2 for movement, or take 2 PC actions, or bring reinforcements into the game. So there's a lot of those, a lot of duplicates. So you're just going to use your hand of cards to play out the game. And it looks like there's some special cards here near the back. They look like events. Light Horse Harry Lee may be played by the American player before battle. He receives a +2 DRM for superior cavalry. The American player draws a strategy card at the end of active player's impulse. So anyway, that's very cool. All right, so this is that map. It is an 8-panel map, and we'll all fit on the camera here. We'll just try to show it to you in pieces. So it's 34 by 22, I believe. Yeah, 8.5, 17. Yeah, 34 by 22 map, and very bright and colorful. So you start off, and you got basically the whole east coast of America. You got instructions on French reinforcements, American leader reinforcements, all these different city locations throughout. Got the states, colonies marked off, and we go all the way down through all the colonies, down to the great state of Georgia, South Carolina, down the bottom, where you have your French Alliance track, your game turn from 1775 to 1783, combat resolution chart, die roll modifier chart is on the board. Very beautiful graphics, very nice. And colony control schematic. Use the schematic as a quick reference of state control. So you can put those control markers on here that says the British control New Hampshire, the Americans control Massachusetts, so on and so forth. You can always just see at a glance the state of this. Over here, that's a very nice touch. So you can make calculations based on that. Very nice. I do like the artwork. Looks like a relief map, sort of. You know, kind of get the green and yellow hues there, and then the state borders, and then the cities are clearly defined and sectioned off by color. The purple for Pennsylvania, and New Jersey's in red. And George is in blue, because blue is the greatest color. Anyway, so that is the map, and let's do a quick recap of everything that comes in the box. All right, so if you pick up a copy of the third printing of Washington's War of the American Revolution by GMT Games and Mark Herman, you are going to get that 110 count deck of cards that we saw, the standees holders, 2 dice. Let's see who wins game 2. Oh, it's tied 4-4. GMT's bag o' bags. You're going to get just 2 sheets of counters. Very not a lot of counters in the game, which is makes it easier to play. 2 double-sided player reference cards, 1 for each side, British and American. The 24-page Washington's War Rulebook. The 16-page Washington's War Playbook. And that beautiful map board that we took a look at. And that's everything that comes in Washington's War, the American Revolution by GMT Games, designed by Mark Herman. Thank you for watching. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Oh!